Okay, so tell me about the Lenny Moss mysteries. How did that come about, and what's it all about?
Well, Lenny Moss is inspired by a level 99 shop steward friend of mine who's always going to bat for his people. And he isn't just concerned with the contract, he isn't just concerned with the labor relations, he's also very concerned with the people that he works with. So, for example, workers will come to him with problems of literacy, or problems with their family, or immigration problems that have nothing to do with work, and he's always there for them. So when I decided to create a fictional detective, I decided that this guy would be perfect because he really cares about people and he doesn't mind helping them.
How many books are there in the series so far?
There are 5 books in the Lenny Moss series. A new book just came out in May, No Place to Be Sick. And the first 4 books are mysteries, they're classic mysteries. So the reader doesn't know who the killer is, and nor does the detective. And everyone discovers the killer's identity at the end. But the new book is a thriller. So in a thriller, the reader knows who the killer is right from the get-go, but the hero doesn't know. So the suspense comes in whether or not the hero will finally figure it out.
And you're a member of the National Writers Union. What is that about?
I'm a proud member of the National Writers Union. We're a union of freelance writers, and we exist to help writers protect their rights because our work is frequently being stolen, it's being pirated, it's being reprinted, and when publishers give us a contract, more often than not, the contract does more to put money in their pocket than it does to put in ours. And so we try and help writers to negotiate a contract that's a little more fair, gives them a little bit better break. And we tell writers, what's in it for them, how they can protect themselves down the road, how they can get reprint rights, what goes out of print, what their rights are. And we're a good group of dedicated people trying to fight for justice.
So how long have you been involved with the union?
I've been in the National Writers Union for, I guess, about 7 years, 6-7 years.
And how can people get involved?
Well, they can get involved by going to our website. That's the easiest thing in the world. National Writers Union, the local chapter, the New York chapter, is nwuny.org. If you click on there, you'll see we have a list of upcoming events, and we have lots of things going on that are of interest to writers. We have monthly programs that are free to the public, and a free beer to the first 10 who show up. So come and get a cool one.
Cool. So you're also active with CCDS. And what's that organization about, and what do you do with them?
Well, the CCDS is a group that stands for Democratic Socialists. And the idea, as far as I know it, behind groups like this, is that what we produce, what we make, the services we provide, it shouldn't be in the hands of a 1%. The 1% shouldn't own and control everything. That the world is a garden, and the fruit should be shared as equally as possible. And we feel that a path towards socialism through a democratic process is the only possible way to make that work and make it last. And maybe we're wrong, maybe we're crazy, but we think that the fruits of our labor should be owned collectively, and we should have a say in what's produced and how it's produced. We should have a say in how things are manufactured and how things are pollute the environment. So.
Well, given that we're in an election cycle, are we headed towards socialism? Are we going the right way?
That's so funny, I hear people talking about these right-wing idiots talking about Obama being a socialist, and it's such a travesty. And first of all, that's not an insult, right? They say socialism is an insult. It's not an insult to be a socialist. But socialism is where the working people own what they call the means of production. They own the factories, they own the mills, they own the mines, they own everything. What Obama wants to do is simply institute a little bit of a progressive tax, just a tiny bit of progressive tax, so we can shift a little bit of the wealth that was stolen by the 1% and shift it down to the people who deserve it. That's a long way from socialism. A long way, because the government isn't taking over the factories. It's not taking over the industry. It's still owned privately by the 1%. So it's a long way from socialism.
Do you support Obama?
Let me say, I don't know. I wouldn't say I support him. I would say I prefer him to Romney. I prefer him to Bush. I think it's a lesser evil. I think life is a little better but he's no friend of the working man. He's given money to the banks. He didn't give money to the people who were underwater, and he hasn't indicted any of the bankers or the mortgage people who cheated and sold these worthless mortgage packages. So I don't say I support him, but I would prefer him to the Republican.
Are you voting for him?
You know, in New York, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't need my vote to carry New York, so I may vote for the People's Party, you know, working People's Party. We'll see.
Okay. And lastly, you like classic cars, so tell me about your car.
Well, I have a beautiful 1969 Avanti, and as much as it's a gorgeous, one of the loveliest cars ever made, it has a very sexy small block Chevy V8 engine. But every once in a while, when they take it on the road, it doesn't start. And we're having that trouble today. So I'm waiting for AAA to come and see if we can get the darn thing started. So, like a certain kind of beautiful woman, it'll break your heart, but you always go back to her.
Well, thank you for talking to me.
Okay, thank you, Tom.